Alright, so this video is going to be on arranging this loop that I made right here. That's the base of the entire track. This is going to be kind of like a tutorial on how you can get out of the loop, basically. So what you do first, before anything, is you go into whatever pattern you have all your sounds in. You right click it and you put split by channel, and then it'll put them all separately. So you have your kick, hats, all the hats, all the percussion, all the sounds. They'll be all separated. And then after that, what I like to do is I'll clone it. I'll just clone it like for a long segment. This is about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Just so I can have like space to work from. So there's this thing called timestamps that you can create. Just you go up here, go to time markers, add one, call it intro. It'll pop up here. The intro can be, it's different for every person. So what I'm gonna show is not like it's not like rules that you have to stick by. It's just the way that I like to do it. A way that I would advise, if you feel like the way a certain artist arranges his music, just import their track, listen to it, and then create time markers where like their drop begins or where their intro begins and stuff like that. Anyways, for me, I think about 4 of these, I don't know what they're called, bars, is a good amount for the intro. So I'm gonna take off all the drums. Hit delete here. I'm gonna take off the bass, the arp, and the saw. Then it's just left with this. And then in between here, you can kind of start introducing some new sounds from the ones that you have here. So if you hit Alt on your keyboard and you right click, you're able to hear what's in these patterns. This is the kick, the shaker, it's another hat, open hat, tom, clap, and then an open hat. I think I'm going to introduce some of the shaker, but just a little bit. Just give them a taste. Alt T for time markers. Thank you. Yeah, I need to learn some of the the shortcuts. Definitely helps speed up the process. So anyways, this introduces some of this. We can go here to the halfway mark and introduce another sound. Like this one. So just some very subtle. That's the drop, so you can't go right into it right away. So here we can take away the bass. Maybe for, yeah, that's good enough right here. 4. Take away the ARP. We're gonna add the kick. We're gonna take away the claps and the open hats. Take one of the open hats off. Take the tom away. Where is it? Actually, we can leave the tom. I might change the amount times it does it. What's the secret to make the kick sound smoother for melodic techno? I don't know if there's a secret. This kick, I just got it from a sample pack that I have. I think short kicks like this that aren't so boomy, just kind of snappy, and balancing it well with the bass create that smoothness where they just sit right together in the mix. Look, if I solo the kick and, well, actually I don't have the bass playing right now. I'll show you on a little bit. Let me just keep arranging this track. Maybe I can introduce the bass here. I think I'm gonna create a different bass line for like the intro, and then this is kind of like the drop bass line. So here from the beginning. Right here needs a transition effect. And maybe like a sneak peek of the melody. So we can put like just the very beginning. And then I think right here it can start like, no, not yet. We can introduce a little bit of this. Then right here, I'm gonna take off the kick. Take this off. Take this off. Take this off. Yeah, the bass, I'm gonna create a different bass line just for this very beginning section. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, go back to the intro. I'm gonna insert one up here, and this is gonna be for the master automation. You go down here, copy the value, so it creates like a fade in. Right here we need like an effect. Where's my techno stuff? Gonna put that over here. Lower it a little bit more. Gonna give it some reverb. As a send. There you go. Lower just a little bit more. It gives that like dramatic effect. You can even have some like ambience here at the very beginning. Like for example, I recorded just different sounds. Like this was at a restaurant. Some crickets. I think this is what I'm gonna use. Some crickets. Just put it in here. I'm gonna cut it right when it starts right here. And I'm gonna put it in its own section, probably up here, just so I have everything a little more organized. And then I'm gonna insert another one so that I can highlight it. I can create a volume automation. Link that to the mixer, and I'm gonna add some reverb to it. Just a little bit, just route it a little bit to the reverb channel. This reverb has an EQ just to take out some of the low ends. And then Abstract Chamber, which is a free reverb plugin that you can get. It's really awesome. And it's on the floating modulation preset. I'm just gonna put a little bit. And it just adds more space to your sound. I might extend this. Just like this. And I'll just have this play at the end. And then probably have another effect right here. Go back into effects. This works with any pack that you have, just as long as you have some like effects you can work with it. I like using reverse sounds for just small transitions. See what this is tuned to real quick. See, that works. Link it. Also add it to the reverb. It's nice to do different reverbs, but for this one, I'm just going to use the same reverb. I think it works really well. It has a very long tail or decay. Let me move this over a little bit. I'm gonna add some delay to that, so put a delay send, route it, feedback, maybe transmitter. Yes, perfect. Maybe do a ping pong effect. Okay, so it's a little bit too low. I'm gonna put the volume up a little bit more. Okay, now I'm gonna create a bass. I'm gonna make this one unique. I'm gonna create a bass line just for the intro. It was supposed to be just arranging, but that's what happens when you arrange. You gotta make certain patterns unique and create variations so that it keeps the track interesting. Well, no wonder it sounds kind of muddy. It has delay on it. I didn't realize that till right now. I'm trying to make it not clash with the tom either, just so they have their own room. Yeah, that works for sure. I might actually extend it a couple more bars. I'm gonna shorten this just a little bit. Oh, I like that. Just put it over here. And add some of this. Then I'm gonna add an insert here and create a volume. Yeah, I'm gonna create a volume automation. But I'm gonna drag it all the way over here because it starts over here. I'm gonna copy the state. And it's gonna start here. So we'll just bring it down. To bring it back up here. So its original volume. I might. I'll just keep going. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining the live. Okay, right here, I'm gonna bring back one of the effects from the very beginning. Let's see. Do I recommend sidechaining some of the drums? I personally don't do it. What I like to do, for example, with the shaker, is I'll go into the velocity right here, and I'll put the very first notes where the kick hits really low, so it creates like a sidechaining effect without actually like using like the sidechain on the insert here, and I think it works really well. And for example, for some, like, I might have done it with the ARP. Yeah, for example, with the ARP, instead of sidechaining the entire like sound itself, I did some mid-side EQing, and I'm only sidechaining the mids, and the sides they're not being sidechained. That way the sound is still like very open, and like the side information is still very open in the track, but it still has that effect of the sidechain, if that makes any sense. It's a new technique that I started using, and I think it works really well, especially with like melodic techno, because the ambience and the melodic part of the track is what's really like the focus a lot of the time. Okay, so right here I'm gonna add a new element. Which one was this? I'm gonna add this open hat. Okay, actually, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave that original volume, but I might create like a cutoff automation. Let me just highlight this section. Copy this, create automation, insert, put it at the very beginning, paste the value. I always like copying the value directly from wherever I'm creating automation from, just so that I have it correct. Okay, so right here I'm gonna go down. Then I'm just gonna create like an automation between here and here. Kind of give it like a rising effect. take off. There you go. Then go here. Here I'm gonna take all this off. And right here I'm gonna have like a what's known as an uplifter. Just kind of that might work. So after that, I need like an impact type of, like a crash sound. Sorry if it's a little bit too loud. Bring that down. And another thing is you kind of want them at a similar level. That way you know like when they're hitting, like they're hitting at a similar level. But then you also got to keep in mind if one is more at a more higher frequency, it's going to sound louder by nature, you know, than one that has like a lower frequency. So just keep that in mind whenever you're leveling the effects. But these both have like high end, so just kind of match their levels. It also matches the level of the melodies. So the effects and the melodies kind of go at a similar level. And this one, my bass is a little bit too loud. That's another thing too. The bass and the melodies are all kind of at a similar level. If you notice, the kick being the loudest, and everything else kind of is at a similar level. So So yeah, that's kind of how I level my sounds. It's kind of like the kick is always the loudest, and then I work the bass around the kick, and then once I have the kick and the bass leveled, then I'll start doing everything else around those two elements because those are kind of the most important part. And using span also. See, everything is kind of like at a level with itself. Like the high end and the low end kind of are always, not always, it depends on the genre, but they kind of meet each other, you know. I'm using this, it's a free plugin. It's called Span, SPAN. And I'm using this preset called Slower. And so like for example, this spike right here needs to be fixed. So I would go into the sound that's creating it, which is likely this one right here. And I just go and I lower that specific frequency a little bit. Because since some of the sounds have the same frequency, it creates that spike a little like even bigger. Like for example, this spike right here is probably being caused by like some of the hats have the same frequency, so it creates that spike. So what you would do is go into some of the hats and go into this specific frequency and just kind of tone it down. It's really useful for mixing this plugin right here. But also don't completely rely on just the visual aspect of it. Of course, you need to use your ears. Make sure that everything sounds good. Alright, so let me play it from the beginning real quick. I like working in pieces, that way I can listen to the track from the beginning and it sounds fresh every time, you know. Because if you keep just replaying the same thing, you know, your ears get tired. So when I arrange, I like working, like I'll highlight the intro and I'll just work on the intro for a little bit. Then I'll move on to the next one, and then I'll go back to the intro and work on it. And that way, you're kind of listening to different parts, and it refreshes your mind a little bit. Let me move this. And this one too. Just so they don't get in the way of the automations. Put this back up. Then right here, I'm gonna take this one off. Take the clap off. Take the kick off right here. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. You just kind of play through it, pretend like you're doing it live, you know? And if you have like a MIDI keyboard or MIDI control with knobs and stuff, you can create automations that way. That's kind of what I'm like gonna start doing. Just link parameters, cutoffs, resonance, like attack, decays, and just kind of mess with it. Like if you're doing it live, just record those automations and it'll just give some unique flavor to your track. Let's see, what are we at right now? This is 4 minutes and 50 seconds, almost 5 minutes from one loop to a 5-minute track. And let's see, how long did this take me? 46 minutes. Not bad. I mean, obviously, it still needs a lot of work. This track still needs some mixing. I just made this track today, actually. I went live on Twitch. I just made a Twitch recently. The link is in the description if you want to follow me on Twitch. But Yeah, I went on Twitch and I just made a song, but I actually had no viewers because I mean I just made it, so I understand, but I didn't save it, which was what I should have done. It's alright though. I like this track, I like the way it sounds. I think what I'm gonna do for the second drop, right, where is it? Right here. I'm gonna put in the first bass from the intro. I'm just gonna take these out. I really need to learn the shortcuts. Go into the effects, this reverse, just put it in right here. Alright, I'm gonna play through the track again. I'll go back to the master. I'm gonna fade it out. Okay, actually, I'm gonna start it over. I'm gonna put up the volume a little bit. So if you're wearing headphones, just be aware it's gonna get a little bit louder. So that's 5 minutes and 40 seconds, almost 6-minute track. Right here, I'm just gonna fade out that ARP. I'm gonna fade out the cutoff as well. I'm gonna go to the first one. All right, do I keep the low frequencies in mono so that it stays in fades? Yes. This plugin right here, MSED, is a free plugin from Voxengo. You can download it, and it's pretty much just like a correlation meter, but I use it for to split the mids and the sides. So on the bass, I have it down here, and so I have mid side right here, and I just mute the side information, and then I created another one, and I mute the mid information, and then I have an EQ that's just for the mids, and an EQ that's just for the sides. And to see this, and you need to have like EQ2, like the updated version, and you go into monitor input side, because if not, you won't see the information. So let me just show y'all real quick what I do. Let me lower it back because that is pretty loud. So if I solo the bass, it still needs work. I did a lot of EQing on it because it sounds really like boxy. Like I'll show you what it sounds like originally. It sounds nice. I'm probably gonna add OTT and some distortion so I can get it to sound like that again, but just not as boxy. But anyways, this is the mid-side EQ that I created in Patcher. This is the mids, and this is the side information, which it doesn't really have much of, but it's definitely there. But pretty much what I do, instead of just turning the entire bass like into mono like this, I split it and I just remove all the side information from the low end. And I kind of do that to all the sounds that have like a low end presence, like a sub presence, and that creates all the low end in mono pretty much. Like I just take out the side information from the low end, and that leaves the low frequencies in mono. And again, this is just only sidechaining the mids, which is pretty much when you turn on, let me see, when you turn the track into mono, all that you're hearing is the mids. And when you open it back up to stereo, that's when you hear the side information. So it's a good little helpful tip. And then somebody asked earlier about how I get the kick to sound like smooth. It's about sound selection, really. I mean, you can create your own kick, but it's really about sound selection. So this kick, I don't know why it's not playing. Oh, it's muted. It's just short, stabby kick, and then I just added a EQ and I took out some of the boxiness. That's what it sounds like, the part that I EQ'd. And the way that I get it to sit right with the bass is I'll put an EQ on the master and I'll cut it all the way down to where I just hear the sub frequencies. And I'll EQ them and level them according to this. So if I reset this, like right there, it's too loud. It overpowers the sub. Right there, it's too low. The sub is more dominating. So where I had it, it's kind of just right. It might be a little bit too loud still, but they sit like really well together. And then I'll expand this a little further into like the bass section right here. Now just make sure that sounds like correct, because I also have a tom in here, which is also low frequency. And that's also like I cut off the very low end of the tom and I trimmed down a little bit of the frequencies right here. And they just sit a little bit better together. And so that's what I do. I just analyze like piece by piece and make sure that everything's good. Also, another like pretty cool thing that I recently got is this thing called Ambio Orbit. It's like a stereo type of plugin, but it's like a 3D or 5D, 5 dimensions, because it's like up, down, left, right, front, and back. And if I solo it, you can hear it. If you have headphones on, you'll be able to hear it. It's pretty cool. I've been playing with it, and it makes your track like way wider because it puts the sound in like a 3D space, and then you can put it up, down. It's hard to hear. You probably definitely can't hear if you're like listening on like speakers or something, but on headphones, like you can for sure feel it. You can automate this to where it like bounces back around like this and you feel it kind of like it's moving behind your head or something. It's cool. It just helps create like the ambient feel, But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, I recently made a Twitch. If y'all have Twitch, y'all can follow me. The link to it is in my bio or in my description of this video. I read someone's comment in a video that I made before where they wanted to learn how to arrange this specific genre. Again, this isn't like a set standard. This is just the way that I do it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna split these time markers. That way y'all can get like a better idea of how this works. So here I introduce like the kick, for example, kick and drums. So this is the intro. And then this is where the kick starts. Kick and bass. So kick, drums, and intro bass, right? And then here introduce a new sound. So I'll just put ARP because that's what I kind of introduced. But along the way, you give like little tastes, little like sneak peeks, and you can create these to be their own unique sound, so it's not the same pattern. That's what this track needs. I still need to create like unique, make them unique, and create different variations of this pattern so it's not so repetitive. Even though techno is a very, repetitive type of deal. So yeah, the ARP starts here. And it also introduced like an open hat, but like a very minimal open hat. So rename this, put ARP and open hat. And then here is the break. And then here is the drop. And the drop plays through, and then it breaks off right here. Here you remove sound. You can remove sound or various sounds. Like for example, I removed the clap and I removed this saw. And in the drop, well, everything's kind of playing, at the same time. But you kind of start removing sounds and then you go back into like right here is another break. And the break is where you remove the kick and you can remove other things. So you got the break here. And there's usually like transition effects so that it goes in smooth. It's totally up to you, I still need to add a lot more effects. Like again, this track is not even done yet, but just giving y'all like a basic idea of how I go about it. And then here's like, I guess like another drop. This is like a short break. Another drop. And it's just about automating the main melody, which is right here. And then here this is where like the melody could change. You put like, you make a different melody, different bass line. You start building it back up. You create a completely different drop. This is the same drop, but you can create a completely different drop. Just keep extending the song. Break. And like a minimal drop. Because it doesn't have I took out the ARP for this drop. And then here it starts like, from here to here, you automate the master to like go down in volume. And you have your track. That's 5 minutes and 30, 5 minutes and 40, 5:50, almost 6 minutes. And of course, it can be extended. Like I said, you can create a second drop, keep on going, and then break that down, and pretty much do like this entire process again, but with a second drop. where you have like different sounds. And then you can incorporate sounds from the first drop with the second drop and mix them and create like an even longer track. But yeah, that's the basis. So let's go over it real quick. The intro, it's like I don't know what these are called, segments, bars. Are these bars? 4 of these, whatever these are. I need to get my terminology correct, but maybe y'all know, y'all can comment in the comments what it's called. So the intro, 4 of these blocks, right? These gray and light gray colored boxes, 4 of them, intro. And then introduce the kick and the bass. Boom. And like a couple of percussive elements. And that goes for 4 more. And then boom, you introduce the ARP and an open hat. That goes for 4. And then the break is 4 of these also. Then the drop is like 8 of them. Well, these are 6, but it kind of like breaks down into like you remove sounds here. So it's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The drop is pretty much 12 of these. Again, this is just the way that I do it, and I do it differently every time. This is not like a thing that I follow every time, but just so that you can, start getting an idea. And then short break for like two of these bars. Then another drop for 4 of these bars. Then another break for 2 more bars. And then you got the second drop, the minimal drop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then half of this, 4 of these, is where you start automating down the volume so that you can finish it. And there you have it. I hope you guys learned something, took something away. Hopefully you can implement it to your own tracks. I'm going to play this one more time, and then I will end this video. I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all subscribing, liking, commenting, all that stuff. Super awesome. I like the way that my channel has been growing because of you guys, so really grateful. I need to start putting more music out. I have a Spotify already, but I'm still just not happy with my music, Like I'm very picky, so I'm trying to really get my production down. Always learning. I'm always learning too. But I'm happy to inspire anybody else that's like just starting, or even if you're not starting, like it's nice to help each other out, So yeah, I'm gonna play this one more time, and then I'll be out. So yeah. And there you have it. Change a couple of things because every time I listen to it, I always hear things that I can do different. It's really important to take a break, do this. Have it, feel good about it, take a break, come back to it later, listen to it again. You're gonna want to change some stuff. Damn, this looks cool right here. But yeah, again, still needs work, but it's good. I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna finish it. Once it's done, I'm gonna put the link in the description. So if you watch this in the future, I'd probably already have finished this track. So the link will be in the description for it. Um, and if not, just wait and I'll totally finish it because I really like the way this track sounds. But yeah, again, thank you for watching from wherever you are in the world: Russia, Germany, South Africa. I'm in the United States. It's really awesome to have people from other places tuning in. So I appreciate y'all. Stay groovy. Keep making your techno. Keep making music. Keep expressing yourself. Life is going to be great. And hope y'all have a wonderful moment wherever you may find yourself. Peace.